Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is Ship Updates. Unfortunately, of course, it's the 1st of January, and there aren't that many ship updates out there, except maybe one snuck in under the wire that some people haven't noticed yet. And what I'm talking about is the new trailer for Squadron 42. There's a couple of reasons I want to talk about this, and there's a couple of things I saw in this trailer and I went, I wonder if this is a little tip of the hat here, but we're going to look at the trailer, watch it, and then I'm going to kind of show you where I think that there is a bit of a hidden ship update in this trailer. So let's get started. This is the first kind of tip of the hat. It's kind of playing around a little bit with the old Marvel intro from a few years ago when they used to flip through the comic book pages. I thought that was really cool, and you know, of course, seeing Squadron 42 so gloriously rendered and seeing the Bengal carrier is pretty damned cool. But when I was watching this trailer, with the environments, the volumetric clouds, obviously leaps and bounds ahead of where they were with the vertical slice demo, I started to get a bit of a Homeworld vibe. Now, those of you who know the game Homeworld, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But there was a very particular scene right here in the beginning that kind of cemented it. Like, that to me looks like the asteroid field at Genna, but right here, when I saw this, I went, I've seen that somewhere before. It seems like a bit of a tip of the hat to the Chimera station from the very first mission of Homeworld 2. Not obviously not a direct copy or anything like that, but with certain art styles in the game, I've kind of looked at them and gone, I get a bit of a Homeworld vibe here. So I kind of wonder if the devs weren't players of Homeworld at some point back in the day and are just kind of tipping their hat to them in a pretty classy way. I really like that. If that's the intent, hats off to you. That was pretty awesome. But right here, of course, we see the Vanduul blade, and then it's the glaive, and then it's the scythe? Question mark? Are these ships getting a rework? Because, you see different ships here, and we see what is probably some kind of, pirate version of the Cutlass, but the idea of the Vanduul scythe and the Vanduul glaive getting a bit of a graphical update isn't something that is too alien to the StarCitizen community. We've asked about this before. There have been Reddit threads, there have been questions, because as we have progressed in the game's development, the scythe and the glaive have pretty much remained where they were 5-6 years ago, whereas the blade certainly has gone leaps and bounds beyond that. The driller, it seems that the style has been more refined, so it feels like they're kind of hinting with this trailer that your glaive and your scythe are going to be getting a considerable visual update. So I kind of like that. Overall, is Squadron 42 the game that's got me excited? No, it's still StarCitizen. Squadron 42 will obviously be an interesting distraction and fun while we wait for StarCitizen to come out. But, once again, as a single-player game, it doesn't really draw a lot of interest to me. I prefer more multiplayer and team-based games. So, while I'm glad to see that Squadron 42 is seemingly making quite a lot of progress, I'm still more excited for StarCitizen. Alright, so let's take a minute to look at the scythe and the glaive question mark and look at these two ships and see what do we think of the rework. Now, of course, ambient light, motion, things like that can sometimes distort shapes, and overall it does kind of fulfill that same glaive shape. The twin wings, you can kind of see the evidence of the big guns closer to the roots of the wings than they were at the tips in the original version, probably making way for the blades, which are going to extend out of the front of the wings through some kind of a slat or a slot. Overall, I kind of dig it in some to a certain degree. The wings overall, I kind of dig the wings, but the overall central body looks a little bulbous, and I don't know. It feels a little odd. There's the wings. I kind of dig them, but the central body of the ship kind of looks like stylistically like a bit of a step backward, like trying too hard to service the original look of, or the new look of the Van Duel, rather than maybe kind of going with more of what the fighter needed. But the cockpit in the front seems to be fairly intact and seems to still kind of fulfill that kind of laying down combat position that your pilot's in rather than a seated position. So I don't know. I would want to see more pictures of it, but yeah, it appears that is the new glaive. Now, we knew this was coming. We knew they were going to get some kind of a rework, and it looks like that was kind of their soft way of showing it to us. The scythe, I don't know. The wings, once again, seem to be a bit of a step forward, but once again, that central body, especially on the scythe, it looks really kind of brutal. I have to be honest. I hope I'm wrong about this. I hope that these are completely original ships, and I was hoping that going forward into the future, there's the ship that they show right after these two. Potentially, there is another Van Duel ship on the horizon at some point in the next year. We're going to see a new Van Duel ship. Big injection of cash for SC. Obviously, those ships obviously draw a lot of collector attention. But I don't know, with these reworks, yeah, the central bodies of the fighters they seem, I don't know, lumpy and out of place compared to the rest of the ship. I kind of feel like I prefer the old look over the new. I really do. The more I look at them, having, prepared to make this video and gotten all the freeze frames and stuff, but the more I look at it, I dig the wings, but the central body of the fighter it kills it for me. Honestly, I wish that it was much sleeker and much more narrow. I think the original designs just had so much more personality, whereas this just seems kind of, I don't know, it feels, I don't know, like, it feels aimless to me. Like, just try to make it a little more this, just try to make it a little bit more that, and nobody was really quite sure how to shape it and how to do it. It feels like adhering a little too much to a style guide rather than kind of going someplace really cool and original with the ship. I don't know. I kind of feel like the original versions of the ships were, at least in that central core body area, the original versions were superior. The more that I look at the original models, the more that I kind of feel like, yeah, I hope. This is one of those situations where it's like, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I really, really do, because the new designs compared to the old do kind of look like a step backwards, which is unfortunate. It really is. I hope that I'm wrong. I really, really do. I honestly hope that I am wrong, because lately I have, of course I've been talking in a very negative sense about fighters in general in the game. And when I look at these pictures of the original scythe and the original glaive, I'm sure a lot of you know that I have a glaive on buyback. I have the option to pick up a glaive, and the one thing that always kind of kicked it back was $350 for a fighter, really? But I do have the option to pick one up. And it has tempted me in the past. You know, I've talked about this before because I really love the look of these ships. And recently in the 3.0 series of patches, there is a member of Scum who has, I believe it's the glaive, might have the glaive and the scythe from, you know, we're talking going way, way back in Star Citizen's history. But I saw that thing on the kind of a dark side of a moon up in the asteroid field around Yela. You know, it was all lit up and it had all the red lights under it lighting it up, and it looked so cool. It looked so sexy. It really, really did. And I was like, damn, you know, it was one of those moments where, you know, it's like your hand just automatically starts reaching for the wallet, you know, without even thinking about it. It's just like, I think it's about time to get that glaive back. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Please, somebody tell me I'm wrong. Maybe it's lighting and environment angle, something like that, that makes it look a certain way. That's entirely possible. It is entirely possible. I mean, you really have to kind of see a ship from multiple angles in different kinds of lighting to really kind of get an idea of its personality, and its, you know, how it really, really looks. Sometimes looks can be deceiving. So hopefully we're going to get a much more in-depth look at these two ships in the future. Man, I hope that I'm wrong. I really, really do. I really, really want to be wrong here, or at least I want to be perceiving it in a way that I'm not supposed to be perceiving it. Maybe it looks different from another angle. Maybe it looks better. I don't know. I guess time will tell, but I don't know. What do you think? I mean, is this indeed the redesigns for the glaive and the scythe? Or am I just 100% wrong from the beginning, you know? I don't know. I guess we shall see. Anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in the Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.